So the reason why I want to focus a little bit on scoring, I think it's very important that everybody learns and understands, what the point system is in scoring in fantasy football. When you understand what the framework is, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it really helps when you're looking for players. Honestly, you kind of have to look for players that fit the framework of what you're looking for. Right? We talked about defenses, and I told you guys, do not draft a defense if it ain't your last three picks. Um, and that's the one I'm gonna start with first. So one big thing I told you about is if the defense is like, let's say, like the Bills are a top five defense, right? Um, but Bills are not known for turning the ball over. They're just known for not allowing you to score a lot of points on them. Okay, and that's really good. But in fantasy football, when you use the Bills, most of your weeks, the only thing you're getting is like 8 points, 6 points. Why? Because they're going to cough up at least 6 to 13, and they may get a turnover or a sack. So here's a point there, points there. It's ticky tacky little things that add on to the fact that they may let teams score on them. You might score 27 points on the Bills. You know what I mean? They'll still win, but that team scored 27 on the Bills, even though they're in the top five defense. They only got you 1 point because they didn't do anything else except for win the football game. So I really hate that I'm picking on the Bills, but Allen put himself on Madden, so I'm just gonna any chance I get, I'm coming for the Bills this year. Because I don't believe what they're doing. Unless they show me up and completely win the Super Bowl, that's the only way I don't shut up. Period. Or that's the only way I do shut up. They have to win the Super Bowl. If not, I will be screaming overpaid for a long time. So let's start with the defense, right? So if you block a kick, that's 2 points. If you get a safety, that's 2 points. If you force a fumble, that's a point. If you get a fumble recovery, that's a point. So if you on defense, your defense forces the fumble and gets that ball, that's 2 points automatic right there. Interception is 2 points, and a sack is 1 point. So if you're looking for, let's say you don't have you listen to my plan, you wait to draft a defense, right? It doesn't even matter what defense you pick. It really don't. Because you're going to wait for the episode when you hear about what defenses you should be playing based on what capability they have of scoring high points. So you're going to probably drop the defense you got anyway to go grab one of these defense you expect to actually get you a lot of points, i.e., if you get a sack-heavy team. If you get a team that ultimately gets 6, 7 sacks in the game, but that's 7 points right there just off the sacks. And if they hold that team to 13 points, you can add another 6. That's how you score points on defense. You got to have an active defense, okay? So here's how the points decrease on the defense. You start off with 10 points, 0 points allowed. So if you do nothing worse than get an Easter egg for the other team, you got 10 points fantasy football from that defense. If you allow 1 to 6 points, go that back again. If you get 1 to 6 points allowed, that's 8 points. 7 to 13 points allowed is 6 points. 14 to 20 points allowed, 2 points. 21 to 27 points allowed is a point. 28 to 30 points is 0. 34 points is 0. 35 to 41 points is -2 points. And if somebody puts 42 plus on you, that's -4. It ain't a little higher than -4. By that time in the game, what else could they go negative on, right? It's just gonna be a -4 every time they're scoring at 42, I guess, right? So yeah, that's how the scoring is broken down for the defense. So yeah, you can hit a lot of these marks if you play the Washington Redskins. We play the Cardinals. What I can tell you, there's gonna be 17 bad weeks of football on the Cardinals. Go grab whatever defense is available that week that's playing them. Okay, period. Go grab that defense, okay? Let's move on to offensive scoring. So offensive scoring, again, for PPR, you get the point per reception. Here's what I say, right, before we get into the scoring. If you run a PPR league, and if you're not opposed to adjusting points, and if you feel like getting running back some love, if you're that kind of commissioner, if you're that kind of league, 1, I love you, I do. 2, you ain't got to be egregious and do a whole point for a carry. No, you don't have to do that. And that's the reason why, hell, these receivers got to go at least 5 to 6 yards before they even get the ball, right? A carry is a little easier. Half a point of carry. Why make that harder, right? Because here's the thing, right? 7 targets or 7 catches to 8 catches, nine, that's a lot for a receiver. Okay. When they're going up against 3 other receivers going, trying to catch the ball too. Okay. So a running back who is carrying the ball 15 times, you don't want to get it 15 points, 15 carries. No. But half a point, or if you want to, give them a full point for every carry and a half. I don't know. You could juice it up. You know what I mean? Half a point for a carry. So if they carry the ball twice, that's a full point. You know what I mean? At least they're getting something for carrying the ball. Like the receiver's getting something for catching the ball. Right? I mean, you're just making those pieces fair in my eyes, right? I really feel like the running back game wins in standard scoring because you are the ball and everything off yard, period. Okay, everything is hard across the board for everybody, right? If you're gonna make it that easy for a receiver to catch the ball because he caught the ball, make it that easy for a running back to carry. Okay, you make it easy for just I don't know. I think the running back position is just so slated right now. They ain't getting no credit. You might as well just say they about as bad as the kicker right now in fantasy. It's bad it's not that many good prominent running backs. We're gonna get into that soon too. But if you at least made the carries notable, you know what I mean? Okay, for instance, right? We know that the Eagles run 3 running backs. 3 running backs don't nobody want to touch, which sucks because they can produce, right? But they can't produce big numbers because there's 3 of them and they're taking the carries away that aren't even being counted, right? If you at least count those carries half a point, at least you can snag some of these running backs from the Eagles, even though they got multiple, because at least you can do something with them coming off your flex, right? At least it's making the waiver wire more fun to look at and to apply to your team because at least they're doing okay. They got in the game and did something. Give them something for it, right? Give them something. You take away from them if they fumble the football. A receiver fumbles the football, and take away, and then minus 1 point for a fumble. Same thing for a running back, right? So you just feel like you're making that running back position just a little too hard. They can barely get anything unless they're a dual threat running back, and that's not fair. That's really not. Not every running back is out here trying to catch a football. They'd rather run between the tackles and beat a man for 5-6 yards to carry. You see what I'm saying? So now he beats you 5 to 6 yards to carry. Let's say he carried that ball twice, right? He got the ball 2 times. That's a point that you just gave him for 2 carries, right? But in those 2 carries, he got you 15 yards. So now he has 2 points, the point for the 2 carries, okay? And then he's got what is it? He's got a point for the 10 yards, and he's got 0.5 for the extra 5 yards. So at least he's getting something rather than all you will see after all of that work he just did is 1.5. Why? Because he only got 1 point for the 10 yards and then 0.5 for the 5 yards. So that's all that man got for all that work he did, right? Yet a receiver can catch a screen, 3 screens, right? That's 3 catches off 3 screens. That's 3 points off the bat for 3 screens, and he probably only got you 10 yards. But he got more points. Why? Because 3 screens was thrown to him. Like, come on, let's be wrong. The running back can catch some same 3 screens as well. I get that too, right? I get that. But these receivers carry the ball too, so give that receiver the carry. You have Debo out here running in the backfield. Give Debo the carry. What I'm saying is, carries are a big focal point, same way as catches. Let these carries count the same way you let the catches count. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying give a whole point for a whole carry. I'm not telling you that because these running backs carry the ball a lot. I'm just saying compensate them for the carry. Okay. We're not compensating the quarterback for throwing the football. You kind of can. You really can. For instance, right? They don't have it here, but I believe if you go into the settings, right, you can add a completion point for your quarterback. So let's say he completes 5. Let's say he completes just the fact that he completed five passes, right? They don't have to be in a row. It's just the fact that he's 5 for 8. Okay, 5 for 7. But he completed 5 passes because and you can do it because he completed 5, give him half a point. So for every 5 passes he completes, he gets a half a point. Something like that, right? I'm giving you, if you guys want to play the point game, if you guys want to play the point game, play the game. Give people some real points. Don't sit here and give. I don't know. I just glorifying the receivers in the NFL. I'm telling y'all it's gonna bite y'all in the butt. I'm telling you, stop it. It's gonna bite you in the butt. A receiver diva has never stopped being a receiver diva. I'm just saying. All right, so offensive scoring, you give a passing yard for 1 point for every 25 yards. It's fine. That's fine. I know some people tweet that number. That's fine. Okay. Passing touchdown is 6 points. That's why for a quarterback, it's 1 point for every 25 yards because hell, if he has 4 touchdowns, he's banking on them 6 points for every touchdown he just threw. You see what I'm saying? So they work it out pretty well. But I don't mind if there's teams that tweak the quarterback numbers just a little bit. Again, me personally, add points. I'm going to leave the 1 point for every 25 yards. I'll leave that alone. What I would do, and that's just the fact, one pass to be 30 yards. So again, that's fine. What I would do is add points for the completion. Again, they're putting in work. The same way they're carrying the ball, the same way they're catching the ball, this is the same way the guys throwing the ball, right? Let's compensate these guys. If y'all really want to chase points in fantasy football, let them chase points. Compensate these players for their actual for their role in their position. He's a running back, he carries the ball. Compensate him for the carry. He's a receiver, he catches the ball. Compensate him for the catch, don't you? Compensate the quarterback for the throw. He completed 5. Hell, you can even give a bonus for the simple fact if a quarterback went 7 for 7. Like if he just went 5, he gets that half a point for the 5, but they give him a bonus for the simple fact he went 5, 4, 5. You know what I mean? Before he actually had a miss. There's so many ways to really play with points that don't seem so one-sided. You know what I mean? So I just want to spitball here. That's all, you know. This is me, things I think about. If I was ever a commissioner, I did it once, I won't do it. All right, so you get a passing. So for receivers or running backs who pass or who catch the football, it's 1 point per 10 yards, okay? Interception, it's -2 points. If you get picked off quarterback, you get -2 points. You see how quick fumble loss, 2 points. You see? They're quick to take points away, but we can't get these running backs nothing, bro. We can't get hard-working quarterbacks nothing. I don't know. It's just I think you tweak these numbers just a little bit. You compensate them just a little bit, man. It makes these values so much better. And you'll have people who are at the bottom so far up at the top, it'd be crazy. Y'all don't want it. I don't want this. Y'all don't know about football. This is biased football. Fantasy football is very biased football. If you don't know that, you might want to stop playing. This is coach trying to teach y'all how to be a little bit unbiased with these players. That's all. All right, so you get a rushing yard. You get 1 point for every 10 rushing yards. Rushing, you get 6 points for every rushing touchdown. Reception, again, 1 point for every reception. All right. Receiving yards, 1 point per 10 yards, and rushing touchdowns will be. I got that on here twice. So if you receive a touchdown, that's 6 points. If you rush a touchdown, that's 6 points. I don't know why they have rushing. Why somebody did a typo. All right, so that is offensive scoring. So a lot of points can go out here in offense, but I'm just telling y'all a lot more and more beneficial. Look, personally, if you don't want real points in fantasy football, just go standard league. I promise you, you'll see more running backs dominate standard league, and you'll see a lot more receivers look like booty in standard league. That's why they changed that. That's why they had a little PPR. If you take away those receptions, look at what the receivers really are here doing. Take away those 7 points for those 7 receptions, those 5 points for those 5 receptions. Take that away and look and see what these receivers are really doing out here in fantasy. They're not doing much. If you go to the standard league, unless they're getting in the end zone, they're not doing much, right? I'm telling you. So standard league, if you really want some tough ways to grind out some wins, standard league. If you really want to put some points up, yeah, go PPR, but tweak your points. Really, like have some fun with it, man. These receivers and these running backs and quarterbacks really barely get any love. You know, it's almost a receiving show. Switch it up, man. Let the benefit be felt by everybody. Okay. It'll make the. I'm telling you. Listen, if you tweak the numbers, okay, compensation wise, I think because I know you can compensate for the carries, but I think for quarterbacks you can compensate for completion. I'm telling you guys, bro. I'm telling you, if you tweak those numbers, and I'm not telling you to give 4 points, 5 points. The carries, they do carry even 15 carries. It's still more than 7 receptions. Okay, that kind of helps actually balance it out if you give them half a point per carry. So for instance, if you do half a point per carry and you see a running back want to get a second carry, you might not want to test buddy. He might not be in your team. You don't want no little second carry. Why? You want at least his partner that's starting, he getting 10. You see what I'm saying? Like that, at least it still makes it more fun to fish through the waiver wire. Because half the time we fish through the waiver wire, what are we saying? Man, I would grab you, brother. It's like you don't buy. It's not that you don't do enough. You do enough for what your team asks you. Fantasy football don't compensate you enough for what you do. That's the issue. And that's up to the commissioner. That's the guy that need to go in there and have tweak the numbers. So I'm just saying, make it fun. Make it fun, guys. It's okay to tweak the numbers. First of all, in a 12-man league, 14-man league, it's as tough as it is as it can be. And make it fun. That's all I'm saying, guys. Make it fun for everybody. Make it fun for the running backs and the kickers in the defense. Make it fun for the running backs, the quarterbacks, so they can get the same love that these receivers get. Okay. Now on to the scoring for kickers. All right. So extra point, 1 point. Miss extra point, -2 points. So don't miss your extra point. Don't miss 25 yards out. Field goal 17 to 39 point. 39 is 3 points. So here's what I would say. I'm gonna get that in a minute. Field goals 40 to 49 points is 4 points, and field goals from 50 to 59 would be 5 points. And that's the range. I don't know why they put points here, but that's their kicking range. And field goals 60 yards out, 60 plus yards out would be 6 points. And a missed field goal is -2. So what I would say is when you're looking for a kicker, there's plenty of them. There's 32 teams. Everybody's got a kicker. I'll give you some strategies that I use, and this helped me win all the time. For instance, when Marshawn Lynch was the running back, right, for the Seattle Seahawks, everybody wanted Marshawn Lynch. I never chased him. Never chased Marshawn. I never chased after Marshawn Lynch. One, I always had rookies on my mind, and I knew I could get them late, especially if I heard the talk, especially if I knew they were going to be the lead back, the focal point of the offense, stuff I look for, especially for a rookie. Doesn't mean they're going to have start off great. Some of them don't start off till after weeks, certain weeks, and that's okay. They'll be on my bench. I just know what I see and I know what I know. And when they pop off, I'll have them and I'm ready. Okay. So I make roster room for that. Right. When you look for these kickers, when everybody's chasing Marshawn Lynch, I'm chasing the kicker for the Seahawks. Why? Because if you ever paid attention to the Seahawks, what they do right the ball. And what did they do most of the time because of Marshawn Lynch? Oh, they had a lot of field goals. And I'm talking about Buddy was between 40 and 55 yards most of the time. And he was driver good. No, he was drilling them. And everybody saw it. And it was too late. It was too late because he was already on my team. And I got a kicker on my team that was eating for 17 points almost every week, bro. His low weeks, and that might be because Russell Wilson got 5 touchdowns, which was very sporadic, so I wasn't worried about that. He give me 10, maybe 8. Because when you looked at his numbers, it was 11, 14, 17, 23, 10, 15, 17, 18. Like this dude was kicking every week. So that's what I look for in the kicker. I look for a team that relies on the running game. And if they cannot score via the open field, they are okay. And you'll see what I mean, because in the games, they won't take chances. They have to get the down. Okay? So they're not going to try to strike the end zone. They're not going to go for an out. No, they're not trying to run the ball right in the middle, or they're going to look for a quick pass right up the seam. And it's just to get yards. This is why. Because they're over that 50-yard line for a team like that. and field goal range. That's all they needed. They don't give a damn. They're going to rely on that defense to do the rest of that work. They're going to get everything on offense and take their time and do it again. So that's all. I honestly, because I don't know the direction. I got the Cowboys winning 9 games, I believe, this year. And I really don't know the direction. However, if the direction of the kicker is Tony Pollard and that Pollard is positive, let's say 1,400 yards on the season rushing, 13, right? I'll be grabbing that kicker. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Because if he's running for 1,300 yards a game, or for the season, 1,400 yards for the season, and those numbers, that means Tony Pollard is always getting the Cowboys in field goal range. And here's another tidbit for that. If that is the case, I would have eaten up a CeeDee Lamb because, dude, from 40 yards in, CeeDee gonna eat man something. I'm sorry, he might need touchdowns this year because if they run that ball effectively, the Dallas Cowboys, the way I'm hoping they can with Pollard, if they are in the position to not strike so heavily, but to more so eat the clock, play ball, manage the ball, meaning they have a good kicker. Oh, buddy, Cowboys actually might win more than 9 games because they're relying on more than just Dak Prescott. I think that defense is going to be really good this year. If you're looking at a defense for fantasy football, I'm gonna look for Dallas this year. Out of 9 games out of the season, Dallas defense is gonna be pretty good. I promise you. And it could be more. It's just paper. I don't know. Again, this is just my paper prediction right now. Not too many injuries has really happened. And certain things may change. They could go up. They could go down. But they could stay at 9-8. Still, playoffs will still be formidable. 9-8 in the AFC East is actually really freaking good. It's just like a 9-8 in the NFC East. It's like in the AFC North. It's the same. If you're 9-8, you're good, or now 10-7. But those records are in those divisions. That's fine. Like it does not mean you suck at all, right? Those are 2.5 divisions. Okay, they're gonna beat up and they're gonna get beat up. That's the way them 2 divisions roll in the AFC and the NFC. Okay. It has been like that since the dawn of time. Okay, it is what it is. If you ain't ready to get beat up, don't go to those business. I'll tell you that much. All right, so now we got standings where we got. And we talked a little bit about kickers and what to look for. Another thing I want to talk about. Let's talk about.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.